On today's episode of Titus and Tate, the Emoni Bates mystery continues.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited for this season of Emoni Bates. Maybe 2 seasons. He can't go pro, right? He can't go to the NBA after this
We
year.
have spent an entire offseason committed to Emoni Bates content, and we were worried as we headed into the season because James Wiseman, he did this to us before. He teased us in the offseason. We didn't get delivered in the natural season, in the actual season, but now we have hope with Emoni Bates.
Emoni Bates cannot go to the NBA after this season, correct?
He has to go to the G League, yes.
But even if he could, after the whole reason we're talking about is because Memphis just had their pro day, and Emoni, woof.
Yes.
Some not great numbers came out from the Emoni Bates pro day.
But the question is, do numbers lie? Because we've always heard that they don't, but I think they may lie in this case.
Right, and I think America was quick to pile on. That was my first instinct when I saw this. I was like, oh, this kid sucks. Like, let's kill him for like, why did we hype this kid up? But you and I are smarter than this, Tate. We after that initial thing went away, the initial shock factor, we thought about it, and we're like, there's something going on here.
Yes.
And we're going to hash out what exactly is
you
going
have a
on
theory,
here.
I have a theory. Together, we'll figure something out.
But we know this. The theory, the story they're putting forth is not the real story.
That's not the real story.
There's not the real story.
It is.
There's something going on. We're going to talk about that. Speaking of weird stories and not being the real story and who the hell knows what's going on, Kanye West is apparently the #1 recruiter in college basketball right now, and I am way too old and way too white to understand what the hell is going on with this. So I'm going to have you're going to have to explain this to me, why 5-star basketball players are joining Kanye's cult, basically.
Yes, there is my favorite player in the state of North Carolina, the next Allen Iverson, as he's been dubbed by many people in the basketball circles, has decided to up and leave Jeff McInnis, who used to be a point guard in North Carolina, his program, to go play at Donda Academy. And Titus, as you and I know, we live in L.A.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Donda Academy. It does not exist. So
Bishop Sycamore of the West Coast.
We're going to see what that looks like. We're going to talk about that.
Also, we got other stuff to talk about. I won't tell you. We'll get to it.
Well, you went to Texas A&M.
I went to Texas A&M.
You saw Alabama go down.
Speaking of Colts, I experienced one of the strongest Colts in,
We're just
in all
glad
of
Jim
college
came
sports.
back. Yeah, this could have been the end.
Yes, it was. We spent 4 days in College Station, which is 3.5 days too long, I'd say. But we had a great time. Boy, did we have a great time.
It feels like Vegas, where there's like an hour rule of how long you can be in College Station.
You're just like, you keep checking your watch. You're like, it's been 19
8 hours. Let's get
we gotta get out of here. No, we had a great time. I'll talk about it a little bit.
Can't wait.
But mostly on the docket today, Emoni Bates and Kanye West, because, you know.
Welcome to college basketball. Biggest stars in the world. That's what we have here.
All that coming up, but first,
Woody Durham.
all right, out of the gate, Tate, we got to explain why we didn't do a show on Friday.
Yes.
You want to explain to the people what happened there?
I mean, as I take a deep breath, it hurts. You know what I mean? Titus, you know this. I play in a Santa Monica men's league basketball every Thursday, 7 or 8 o'clock, depending on the game. But 2 weeks ago, this happened 2 weeks ago, we play a team, and I'm not even kidding. It was about 4 DeMontes Sabonises and then 1 other point guard. Let's call him Jeff McInnis. So it's Jeff McInnis and 4 6'9" guys. I'm 6'2".
What level of league is this?
This is like the B league.
What is the what are
This is like a little bit of, you played like high school level and like a little bit after. You
a
know
skosh of
what I mean?
college?
A skosh.
You just got a skosh.
Because we got some ringers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is, you know, so there's like a couple.
I was supposed to be one of your ringers.
You were supposed to be a ringer.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can't do it because we're doing.
You're in College Station.
Yeah,
you know, not full picture, right?
Yes.
So you're not there.
Yeah.
And if you were there, maybe you're guarding one of these DeMontes Sabonises and playing the 4. I had to shift down to the 4. I'm not a 4. I'm a 2. So I don't want to be at the 4.
I'm a 2.
I'm a 2.
I'm not a 4. By the way, I'm not a 4. I'm a 2. Is like got to be the most said sentence in pickup basketball history.
Exactly.
Like every guy is like, I'm like Greg Oden. You're 7 foot tall. You literally are an All-American center. He's like, I'm a 2 now, baby.
Yeah.
If you play pickup with Greg, he's
everybody's a 2 because they want to be the shooting guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to shoot. That's my job. DeMontes Sabonis goes up, knees me. So like I go up to block this 6'9" man. Yeah. I'm not tall enough to do that, so I reach like Michael Jordan in Space Jam, and as I'm pulling and shredding the muscle that I feel shredding, he rams into me, all 260 pounds of him. So I have pulled muscle on top of bruising. So I'm not sure, but I think I may have broken a rib. I have not gone to the doctor yet.
No, you don't go to the doctor.
I don't go to the doctor. And even if I did, they'd be like, you broke a rib. It's kind of like when you break your toes. They're like, get over it. It'll heal. Let the body happen. So I wake up on Friday. And so then the next week I play after this injury. And I'm like, it'll be fine. I'll get over it. Adrenaline will carry me through. I get through about 3 plays. Can't breathe. I'm also wearing a mask, so I'm just like, You
gotta wear a mask to play?
Yeah, that's the other part of this. Yeah, so you're already like limited breathing, right? So now you throw in a broken rib. Now it's all chaos. I woke up on Friday morning. I texted you and Jim. You guys are coming off a honky tonk. And I was just I can't breathe. Like I was worried about, because it hurts to laugh, hurts to cough, and I was thinking to myself, if you start telling me a story about a honky tonk,
about Jim at a honky tonk,
I'm laughing. You know what I mean? It's gonna be painful, and I don't need that in my life. So it was casual Friday anyway, so we had to take a break.
We're sorry.
That's the full story.
Listen, I feel bad because we are the hardest working men in show business. That's what everyone says about us. We have a reputation to uphold, but yeah, you said that. You're like, I can barely breathe, much less talk, much less laugh, all that sort of stuff. And usually I would pressure you into doing the show anyway. I'd be like, no, let's just do the show, and then like you can just moan on air about how much it hurts to even.
That's what I'm doing today.
Yeah. But your text was music to our ears because we were in College Station and we got sucked into going to not really sucked. Like I wanted to go. But, we went to
you became
a country
Tex.
bar.
You became like a different character.
Titus. Yeah. Tex Titus.
Different character.
At your sir. I just tipped my I feel weird not having the cowboy hat on, by the way. I get we went all in on it. Jim, by the way, what was your we never really did talk about it. Your impressions from this was Jim Cunningham's first experience at like a true country. Have you been, Tate? You've been to a country bar, right? Where they do line dancing.
Yes.
And it's just like a bunch of dudes in cowboy hats.
I've never been to College Station though. So so I should say that.
So
it might be a little bit different.
This was your first time going to a place like that, Jim.
This was my first time hearing country music.
Ever.
Pretty much.
I mean, you're a New Yorker.
I was Shazamming songs, and Titus was going crazy, like, that's Garth Brooks. I'm like, I don't know who that is. What are you talking about?
It was a good time, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
The honky tonk?
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't really see anything with all the cowboy hats. Really.
Did you? He didn't have a
What's
hat
it like
on?
seeing a movie at the movie theater with all these cowboy hats on?
Yeah. He felt like we were just at the set of Roadhouse. And just kept waiting for
it. Looked exactly like that.
There was a bunch of pool tables, and you could just see Jim's like looking over his shoulder, just expecting a guy to take a pool cue and just like break it over someone else's
absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
And everyone just keeps playing pool, and he's like, "This is weird. It's gonna happen. I know. I've seen the movie. They're gonna do it at some point."
He does it first to get ahead of it.
And the only people not wearing cowboy hats, besides myself, were cadets, like guys in full fatigues.
Do you want to do?
So it was just like it was a very
Should we do it
different than what I was used to.
Should we do a quick Texas A&M recap because we might as well.
You might
it's
as well.
still awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a quick recap before we get because we'll get to Emoni and Kanye in a second, but. Texas A&M, like this is the joy of going to these places, Tate, is that I obviously we have followed college basketball our whole lives. We've done a lot of traveling, but most of the programs that are good at college basketball are not good at college football. So the places that I have been in this stupid career of mine and stupid life of mine are not I haven't been to LSU before. I haven't been to Texas A&M before. I've never been to Norman, Oklahoma. So like this has been fun for me because then I can absorb the information from the campus, even though it's a football visit.
Does it make you feel better quickly? But does it make you feel better about Ohio State as a football school? Has it emboldened your opinion?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay,
but there are a lot of traditions at these other places that I like. Like LSU is cool. Tiger Stadium at night is every
Oklahoma was the one that I thought might get you, where you're like, this might be the one.
Yeah, I liked Oklahoma a lot. Texas A&M is a cult.
Absolutely.
It's literally a cult. And I thought about this long and hard because we were there for a long time. And what happens is the whole purpose of these trips is like,
can there be good cults? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the question.
That's what I'm trying to get you, Tate. Is like the whole purpose of these trips is like we have to pander to the places we go. So like I have to go all in, which is why I bought the cowboy get up, and I'm trying to be like an authentic Texan. I'm not, but it's funny, whatever. And we're there for 4 or 5 days. I mean, we're there for a long ass time. And by the end of the trip, by the time they beat Alabama, and we're rushing on the field, and I'm jumping up and down, and I'm looking around. I'm the only guy that's like me and Jim are the only two people older than like 22 out on the field, jumping up and down. I'm like way too old to be out here. What the hell is going on? As all of this is going on, we then go to the tailgate. After the game, we go to like a post game tailgate where people are just giving us beer and food, and like we're having a great time.
Johnny Football's there, by the way.
Johnny Football's there. Chris Middleton's there.
Oh, I love to see it.
And I'm saying to myself, I was like, the entire time I've been here, I've hated this place because it's weird. It's a cult, and we're gonna get to a little bit of why it's a cult in a second. But I kind of love it now, and I was like, "What happened?" And I think it's because they won. But then it's been messing me up because like on the flight back, and then all the time I've had since then, I've been thinking about like where I land on whether like I'll put it this way: it's definitely a cult. It's 100% a cult.
Yeah.
The question becomes, do I have a responsibility? Do those of us outside of the cult have a responsibility to do something, to intervene,
Yes,
to save these people
yes.
that are stuck in this cult? And I think I've ultimately landed on no. I don't think we do. I think let them be.
Yeah.
I think you let them be. I don't think this is like, because there can be good cults. I think there can be good cults. Like when I was watching, you remember the Wild Wild Country?
I was
going
to say. I mean, we've seen it. It started out. It seemed like it was working well.
That's how I felt. That's my final recap of like the whole Texas A&M experience. Was like the first. How many episodes was it? Like 6 of Wild Wild Country?
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe 8. The Bhagwan.
It was like 8-episode run of that series,
Yes.
and like the first 6.5 episodes, you're like, they just get together and have sex with each other. This is awesome. This is great.
Yeah, and
I
party.
like this. Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with this cult? And then the last couple episodes kind of falls apart.
You're like, yeah.
But I think that's where I was at with Texas A&M. I was like, I mean, it's obviously a cult, but like, who are they hurting? It's fun. It's a good time.
Who's the leader? Who is their Bhagwan? That's
We
the
asked
question.
that.
We asked that. We were asking people. We're
Nobody
like,
would answer. I said L. Ron Hubbard, and they just laughed it off.
yeah. The
wow.
the Bagwan, I think, is the dog. I think it's that dog.
Oh, that checks
They
out.
have this is honest to God the truth. This blew my mind. By the way, if you know nothing about Texas A&M, what I knew going in was that I knew the 12th man.
Yes.
I knew that existed. They have the best student section, or they think they have. But I thought like the quote unquote cult part was like the Texas A&M football people are like the Duke basketball people.
Yeah,
where they're
yeah,
just
yeah.
like they just kind of go. It's like 20% too much, and you're like you're trying a little too hard.
Yeah.
And we'll make fun of you, but that's just basically it. I did not know.
You're crazies.
Yes. I did not know that they literally
Nerds.
do not boo, that they hiss, which was Jim's favorite
And they
thing.
go like
They
this.
do like this. They put their hands like
Are
this
you
and go.
serious?
That's how they
booing
boo.
isn't classy.
Booing's not classy. This is
But
classy.
hissing and spitting all over the place is during a pandemic.
They have
Oh
the
my
yell
God.
leaders, which the guy went viral like the week
Yeah,
before we
yeah,
went.
yeah. I saw
doing
this
the-
guy, yeah.
doing the
No, that
overalls
video
and
went
the-
out like right as you guys
Yeah,
are going
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, what is happening?
There are a million
Where are they
different
going?
there are a million different things to, like it's a military school that's not actually a military school, so they have all these like military things, and then
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah, none of those guys actually end up serving for the
and-
country.
and
I
so
asked that too. I'm like, what?
What
so
do you
these
mean
guys
they
all
don't serve for the? I thought that was the whole point.
No,
That's why we
all
let them
those
get away with
soldiers
it.
on the field with us when we ran on the field, nobody's seeing action.
What do
like,
they do?
like most of them are.
No, they're
serving.
just like
Some of
pretending
them are,
it's,
right?
it's cosplay.
Some of them are gonna serve. I think.
Supposedly, maybe.
like some maybe, but it's got the whole yeah right,
It's face.
Are you kidding me?
It's cosplay,
dude.
like
Yeah,
army.
You feel like you're at like the Army Navy game
Yeah,
mixed
I mean,
with
like my grandparents, like Navy and Army, both represented, both fought World War II.
Yes.
World War II. Like I assume that the cadets are cadets. What
They're-
are you telling me? They're in
they're-
costumes.
Yeah. There's one.
Halloween.
Speaking of cosplay,
there's
Oh my God.
so
I am mind blown by the hissing. By the way, I mean I still haven't gotten over that.
that's what they do.
Okay.
yeah.
They all have the class rings, which I think I kind of knew about, but I didn't realize like everybody wears them. So like every old
That's
person,
like a high school thing in North Carolina.
they all
yeah.
wear their class rings, and they point out like, and they everyone I talked to that was like older than 30 years old would introduce themselves and say class of whatever.
87.
Yeah, class of 80. Yeah.
Even the buildings where they
yeah.
they had donated, like say the Kyle family or whatever, it says like Kyle 78.
Yeah, like the Tate Frazier football facility. It would say Tate Frazier.
Tate Frazier
sev-
toilets.
Yeah,
15.
Yeah, Tate Frazier
Class of
15.
2015.
Let's go.
Yeah, it would say that on the building. It
On
would
the
say you
toilets.
graduated here.
On
So
the actual
there were a million different things, dude. There's like a million of these traditions that like they do like they do this thing.
I love tradition, by the way. So I'm not scoffing at tradition. I'm blown away by
These
this
aren't even
information.
traditions; they're rules.
I'm gonna tell you one more. They do a whoop. Like that's like their.
Yeah.
It's like we thought it was like a Stone Cold.
yeah,
deal,
it's like
'cause
after you say something, like
if
Like
someone
Ric Flair, like whoop.
yeah, or
yeah,
Stone Cold. Like
you
you,
know-
just cheer, like yeah, we are the Aggies.
whoop. You know how like Stone Cold do a promo and people say
Yeah.
they'll yell what
Yeah,
like when he
yeah, yeah,
pauses.
yeah.
They were doing that, but
It's
they
like
would
every
do whoop.
break, every beat.
Like so during that midnight yell thing, which by the way, the biggest waste of time. And like I love you Aggies, like everyone. Like I had a great time. I'm gonna defend your Colt here in a second, but midnight yell. Here's my reaction to midnight yell. I'm gonna boo.
Yeah.
Midnight Yell was stupid, but
How long
big
is
whoop.
it? Is it an hour?
It's like an hour.
it was yeah.
They
yeah.
told us a
about
half
right.
hour. They
so,
lied.
So like when the guy's talking, the guy's like, "We're gonna go out there and beat Bama," and then everyone goes whoop, and then we're gonna beat these guys whoop, and they just keep like whooping over
Is
and
the
over.
football team there, by the way? That
No,
was my other
of course
question.
not.
So they don't get to hear any of this.
No, they
But-
don't care.
So they're doing this, but then we come to find out that like not everyone's allowed to whoop. It's only like juniors and seniors, and the freshmen have to like.
There's seniority
Only
to the
seniors
whooping.
can go like this, whoop, and show their ring off going up. Juniors
Juniors
have to
point
whoop
down.
point their fingers down.
Yeah, dude. They're all these
And
rules.
freshmen and sophomores can't even whoop.
So
they
what-
say
what-
A.
So what happens if you guys whooped?
Oh, they were
did,
mad
and
at
they-
us.
they
I did it
were
at the live
mad.
show. I just started going whoop whoop,
And everyone's
like,
like, no one cheered. They're like, what about whoop whoop? And
Yeah.
everyone just was like, you.
yeah, everyone's like, please don't. And you just see people just like convulsing. Like,
I
it
just-
was-
I
it was an
imagine Neil
actual
Brennan's
please
head
don't.
exploding as you whoop.
It was an actual please don't instead of like sarcastic.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
don't. It was like really like please don't do that.
The other thing we pissed everyone off about was we didn't take our hats off during a
that's-
midnight yell.
I did know this. Yeah.
So-
People were yelling.
So they're doing a deal and like people are yelling at us to take our hat off, and I didn't realize they were yelling at us. They're like they say uncover. That means take your hat off. Uncover. They're yelling uncover, and I'm looking around like what the hell are they yelling at? And
Who is the supreme leader?
the dog, I guess. I don't know. They all worship this dog. By the way, this is a public school in Texas, right? Like they're not a private school.
Right.
This is like a
And also, you just confirmed that the military is not making these rules, right? I mean, these are not military rules.
No.
I'm double checking. Yeah, it's a public land grant school. Like this isn't like a, you know what I mean? So
Also, all the traditions only happen because if they happen twice, it's a tradition.
yeah, that's what they said. They're like so. So the hat thing though, they're yelling at us to take our hat off, and I'm like, are they about to like play taps? Is it like
Yeah.
did a student die and we're now going
Did
to
you have
honor
a cowboy
him?
hat on?
Yeah, I had the cowboy hat on.
That's even
And
funnier.
I'm like, oh my god, this must be very serious that they want us to take all their hat off. Not the case. They were just like singing like some song about like beating Texas or something,
Okay.
and they're swaying back and forth, and they want me, an Ohio State grad who's just like here to like observe, to take my hat off,
Yeah.
and that's how they get you in the cold. I think it's because like once you. First, I take my hat off to
Yeah.
appease them. Then I'm giving my wife to the
No,
cult
you're
leader.
in the, you're in the
Where does it-
Scientology center, and they're like, just take a seat and put these wires on you, and we're going to give you a quick test. So you're like, wait a second, I don't want to test. What?
Oh man! So
Dianetrics or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bring it full circle and just say I think the cold is good though, because what I realized after they beat Alabama, I was like, this is actually all kind of sick, because I think when you do all that stuff and it works and you win and you beat Alabama
Then
and
you
you have
believe
this
it.
moment, then you start believing that like there's something to it. So like I walked away from that experience and I was like, all those yells that they practice,
Yeah.
all the swaying, all that stuff, like that helped them win the football
And
game.
it's happened twice because Johnny did it, and
He did it in Tuscaloosa though.
But it's still, you
But
beat
still,
Alabama
yeah,
twice.
You beat Alabama twice. That's a tradition. Though.
That's tradition.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think,
Officially.
Jim? About like
I'm
what
in.
is
I'm
your
going.
review of the Colt of Texas A&M?
Not my style.
Yeah.
I wish I had dressed as Turd Ferguson, also with the
Oh,
cowboy
yeah.
hat and everything. I think that would have went over well with
Oh,
those
my
people.
God.
Not that they were allowed to watch Saturday Night Live anyway. I thought they were. Nobody curses. You know,
Yeah,
you're not
nobody
even
really
allowed
curses
to
that
say
much.
freshmen aren't allowed to say, what were the other words? They're not even allowed to say like death,
Elephant.
dead,
or something.
elephant.
But I go back to, I get that if you're at Army or Navy
Yeah.
and the U.S. military is in charge, but you're telling me that the U.S. military has barely
Has
any
nothing to do with this.
affiliation with this. So again, who has made the rules? Who is making the rules?
Dude, I was
We don't
asking.
know.
This is
Nobody
very
knows.
Wizard
We
of
asked.
Oz-
We
Wizard
asked
of Oz
because there was
vibes.
a statue of one guy, and I said, "Who is that guy?" And they said they wouldn't answer.
said,
I
"Don't
said,
worry
"L.
about
Ron
it."
Hubbard,"
Yeah.
and they said, "No." They laughed.
No, they
and
said-
then they said the 12th man.
The 12th man. Yeah, you're like, who's the
And
12th
it's a guy
man?
in just overalls.
It's like their Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
I
guess.
think
That's
we're gonna
that's
get.
the-
I think this is we know
Yeah.
too much. You guys know too
dude,
much.
we kind of do. Dude, they have the
Seriously.
dead. They put the dead dogs outside
yeah.
of the I swear to God,
Yeah,
this is
this
true.
is good.
I saw it with my own
Not
eyes.
dead, passed on.
Passed on. No,
Don't say dead.
ascended to a higher
Plane.
plane. The dogs that ascend, the mascots that
Reveille 1 through 9.
There's a
Reveille
chance
1 through
that-
9.
Yeah, this is wow.
So the stadium, the gate of the stadium's here, Tate. Like 10 yards away from the north gate of the stadium is a plot of land where all the dogs are buried. and
A little island of grass.
An island of grass just right there, and it's tilted towards it's tilted at an angle towards the stadium. So like the stadium's like here, and it's tilted this way, and they put right at the bottom of the tilt part a scoreboard that is wired into the stadium. And the idea is that all the dogs are now pointed towards the stadium so they can hear the roars of the crowd. And they have the scoreboard there so all the dead dogs know what the time and score is of the game.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
And they have little gravestones.
I saw this
like
with my
it
own
says
eyes.
like Reveille 1, Reveille 2, Reveille 3, little headstones, and they're all facing a little scoreboard for dogs.
So the dead dogs. So the dead dogs can follow the football game.
Yeah.
And again, the
As
U.S.
is
military
tradition.
has no affiliation with this.
No.
I am
So-
blown away.
Anyway,
it was great.
That was the but also I did meet a few people that were willing to say like, yeah, this is a cult. Like they were in
Shout
the
out to
cult.
Tori and her family who took care of us after the
Tori,
game
yeah,
and everything.
They had a tailgate. Mi casa, su casa is what they called it.
Yeah,
They
awesome.
They gave us more food and beer than we could.
Sounds
They were in
great.
It
lot
was
60 or
amazing.
70. I
Yeah.
think 60.
They were awesome. They were great people.
Amazing. Tori and her family.
But
Shout
they
out.
broke character for you guys?
No,
And-
they're-
Oh, yeah. Tori was cool.
It
about
wasn't even
everything.
just them. There's a lot of people that were like, I
Two
was like-
percenters.
yeah, I was like, this feels like a cult, and they're like, it's definitely a cult. And I thought to myself, I was like, if they say it's a cult, does it make it a cult? Like
I
the
mean, yeah,
people inside the cult.
awareness makes it not a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Also,
very,
anyone who doesn't follow all those rules is called a 2%er.
yeah.
Because 98% are diehard in
Yeah.
there. Also, you're not
I wanted
allowed
to
to
talk to those
sit. You're not
people.
allowed to sit down during the whole game.
Yeah, they
in the
don't sit
student
during the
section.
whole in the student section.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
I want to talk to the people
The
that
2%ers that are
go to
openly
school there
2%ers
that are just like
I mean,
this
that
is-
was like
yeah
well,
that
I don't
are
wanna
just
out
like
Tory, but yeah. I think
no,
she was a
wearing,
2%er.
she was wearing a ring, dude.
Yeah, I know, but she kind of talked about the stuff being like.
I
a
don't
little
no, I
nuts.
don't think if you think your school is crazy that makes you a 2%er. I think it's like if you don't participate in any of it.
Oh, that's just zero. I thought if you miss one thing, you're.
Do you think that 2% is more than 2%? That's the real
Yeah.
question.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Although everyone we talked to, you were asking like stuff they didn't like. No one would say it
No one
because
would
even
say
as I
that,
was
yeah.
recruiting for the Dos Equis video hit, I was like, "Say your least favorite tradition." Like,
I can't do
shucks,
it.
I can't think
Can't
of
do it.
one I
Can't think
don't
of one.
like.
It's crazy.
Can't think of one I don't like.
That's what they sang.
I want to talk to the 2%ers though, like the people that are like, here's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
I didn't come to school here for all this hokey pokey bullshit. I came to like
Go to
get
the
an
military.
education.
Yeah, I thought I
no,
was
go
gonna
to the
go
military.
I thought I was going to fight in the
No,
war.
I came to get a degree and get laid while I'm here, and like I don't want to on Friday nights come to a stadium and swing back and forth and take my hat off at midnight on a Friday night, dude. Can you imagine North
college.
Carolina? You're
Friday
in college.
night, midnight.
You're a junior at North Carolina, Tate. Junior year at Tate Frazier. It's Friday night. You got a big football game tomorrow. You got Clemson's coming to town.
Whew.
Everyone's out at the bar.
Yeah.
You're hammering
Bar
beers.
empties out.
You're macking on the
11:45.
babes. And then you look down at your watch and you see it's 11:45 and you're like, I gotta go. I gotta make it over to the stadium real quick so we can practice our cheers for tomorrow.
Or yells. They're not cheers. They're yells.
I
we were told
am
that.
still blown away that
So
the
that the-
U.S. military is not involved. With
By
this
the way,
thing.
what about that T-shirt where it said, "Give me some graduates from West Point, I'll win a battle. Give me some graduates from Texas A&M, I'll win a war."
But you won't because they don't go. You won't.
Oh, they had the swords. The cadets had the swords. Remember on the sideline? Well,
They had
listen to this.
swords.
They were zip tied closed. They couldn't take them out of their holders because a cadet once went crazy and tried to stab a cheerleader.
That's a true story. Yeah. Dude, there's a
So
story
the guys
that
showing
I
us
have-
because we're like, "Could you take
And
that
they were
out
like,
on
and
the
if it
sideline?"
happened twice, it'd be tradition.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
gotta make sure it's not
Yeah,
tradition.
we asked him on the sideline. We're like, "You gotta take that out," and he's like, "Can't zip ties." And they're all zip tied closed.
Dude, every single
Hilarious.
person too took it very seriously when I would I would make a joke and because in that situation there was a bad call because the refs were trying
Yeah,
to screw
they-
A&M
yeah,
the
they
whole
wanted
game.
Bama to win.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So there's a bad call and the cadet just is like complaining. He turns to me and I was like, man, I go they bet or no, there was a catch and they were reviewing it and A&M caught it and the guy was in bounds, but they were like, we got to look, and they were showing the replay and I was like, I swear to God, if they overturn that, man, I'm gonna take your sword and go attack the refs or something. Like I said as a joke, and he's like, well, actually, it's zip tied here because back in like '83, there was, and he just tells me the story. But it was that way. No matter what you said about anybody, like anytime you try to make a joke about any of the traditions,
Yeah.
they'd be like, well, actually, the reason we do this is because there's this.
The dog told
There's
us not
the
to.
dog,
Yeah.
this is the. So anyway, I think ultimately I land on this, Tate. Like I think every
He's
school.
in.
I think I'm in because I think every school is kind of a cult. I think if you
All
went
that
to
being said.
Ohio State, we do OHIO around the stadium. We have traditions.
There's cultish things to it. Yeah,
We all
for
have
sure.
our cults. They just they care more or something. I don't know. They're
There
like
was also
more
something
brainwashed. Than
Yeah, there
everyone
was
else.
something sweet to watching, like all of them dancing on a Thursday evening, like in the dance lesson video that we filmed. We were in there and just like watching all of them look into each other's eyes, and it was just like really psychotic and scary, but also really cute.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
And endearing. Yeah, it was like the most innocent thing I've ever seen in my life. I
Yeah,
was like,
it does
"My
sound
God."
like endearing, sweet, like like of a time that doesn't even exist. You would think in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would think none of these people saw the internet or anything.
Yeah. So
So now, I
don't know.
obviously, Mac Brown was at Texas, so I'd always pull for Texas, and this is
Right.
back when they'd play
Right.
A&M, and I'd always have a soft spot for A&M because I would think to myself, look, I mean, I'm pulling for Mac Brown and a bunch of 5 stars. These guys are going to war.
yes.
Yes. Like
yes.
these guys are going to serve our country. So like I don't need like who cares? Who cares if Texas loses today? You know what I mean? I would let it slide. And the fact that that was all a farce, you know what I mean? I'm
Dude,
blown away.
It is just as much of a military school as Furman is.
That's what it is. Why I'm so shocked. You know what I mean? I like to know what the military schools are now. Oh, I'm blown away.
But yeah, I get it. I guess I don't know if it works for those people, it's fine. And
I mean, it was an awesome atmosphere.
And that's what I was
going to
say.
TV.
Ultimately,
Yeah.
if you win the game, it works because what happens is the win happens, and suddenly I find myself in a position where I'm like, I wish I could be celebrating this win to the level you guys are because you have drank so much Kool-Aid that now it's just like it's ecstasy. It's like pure ecstasy for these people. And
do you think that they thought when they won that game that you guys might stay? You know what I mean? Like they got you, they convinced you. Like this was
They
the
asked
week.
us if we would come back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
all you got to do is come back twice. and
Yeah,
it's
that's what they said.
Yeah, come back and
That's
come
one of
back
the
in your
dancers
house.
texted. He's like, make sure you come again. It'll be tradition we win.
Oh my god. So I guess the question as it pertains to us, Tate, is how do we feel about Buzz Williams at Texas A&M now?
I honestly, I am shocked. I can't imagine Buzz Williams at Texas. I don't even understand it.
I thought
I can't imagine Chris Middleton at Texas A&M.
I know. I thought to myself though, having visited, it makes sense that their football coach is named Jimbo and their basketball coach is named Buzz.
Yeah.
Like that felt very weird. If you put that on paper, you're like, Jimbo and Buzz are like the two most powerful guys on this campus.
Yeah.
That's a place where Jimbo and Buzz would be.
What's the name of the dog, by the way?
Reveille, yeah.
Reveille 10.
Reveille 10.
Let's be honest.
Reveille
Reveille
number
sounds
10.
like a leader.
Yeah, I don't know. I've said on the show many times. I think Buzz Williams has something cooking in Texas A&M because he just I don't know. He's been successful everywhere he's gone, and then he like finds a way to. But he does it like under the radar. So I don't know. I've always like been kind of thinking Buzz Williams is gonna make something happen there, and I kind of still do. But boy, my thoughts are changing like as to what that.
He's at a
something's going to
football
be.
school, which
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
But at some level, like you said, I expected I still expect him to make that leap. It's a very Christian school, right? I mean, that's what I assume.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm also confused
Because
about.
they don't really swear. Yeah, you're right. There wasn't a lot of people.
But also, if you
Because
can't
that's what made a lot of sense for Buzz Williams, right? I mean, he's a very godly man, so like,
Dude,
I could see that working.
there was a call that was there was like a horrible call. I forget when it was, but like the place was going nuts. They were losing their mind, and they start hissing. And I looked at Jim and I was like, "This isn't even close to like what they should be doing. It should be a ref chant just over and over.
Yeah.
Like the whole place would be nuts, just going."
I think if I was a ref, I'd be way more intimidated and scared of a hiss.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Also,
I'm just saying for me.
if you can't picture Chris Middleton there, can you picture Johnny Manziel there?
Yeah, dude.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Johnny Manziel's a 2%er. There's no way Johnny Manziel's doing that garbage.
Please.
Johnny Manziel can't even follow the real law. There's no way he's following
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
like made up law.
I mean, it is weird that the football team is not there for the midnight yell, but that makes, I guess, sense.
A
that they
former
wouldn't be there.
football player told us
Yeah.
that was his least favorite part.
There's a
least
dude that
favorite tradition.
graduated in the 60s. It was like, I asked him what was their tradition he didn't like. He's like, midnight yell. And I was like, wow, everyone seems to like that here. What didn't you like about it? He's like, well, I was on the football team. They made us go to it. He's like, I'd be tired for the game.
He's like, I'm trying to sleep.
That guy was the man. He also told me when I first asked him what tradition he didn't like, he's like, losing.
Yeah.
That was his other answer. Yeah.
Jim, what was have you ever rushed a field before? Stormed a
No,
field
that
like
was great.
That was fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time.
Did you have the moment when you're on the field and you're like, what do we do now? Because I feel like every time
5 seconds into it, I'm like, let's get the hell out of here.
When I rushed the court, I was like, this is awesome. What do we do now?
Dude, we were on
The second that video ends, that clip ends, we're like, let's go.
We gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Dude, they wouldn't let us leave out of like the tunnels that we had gone in from.
Yeah, we had the.
They wouldn't let anyone leave out of these tunnels. You had to like climb up these stairs and go up into the
concourse.
Yeah.
We
that made no sense. It seemed like a fire hazard.
We were on the field when it all happened, so like we were in the middle of the throw. Like,
it was a great video.
We were among the first people to rush on there, so like it was that. Like we rush out, we get to the middle, like where all the players are and all the cadets, and like we're jumping up, and then suddenly, like you realize, all right, that's about enough, and you turn to like leave, and it's just a wave of people coming at you.
Thousands, yeah. And it was hard.
And
to
it
get
smelled so bad.
Yep.
So hot.
Dude, yeah, you could just.
That you just feel the heat and the COVID,
coming out of everyone's pores. I was holding my breath most of that whole video. Every time we were in there, I was just like.
I tore something in my knee, by the way. Like I tore my meniscus playing beach volleyball, and then I tore something else doing that. Like I legitimately can't walk normal now. I gotta go to a doctor. Let's go to the same doctor.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I've torn my meniscus before too. I can give you the exercises.
Weren't we gonna get you a wheelchair maybe for the upcoming videos? That'd be good.
I'm like this guy like thinks I'm joking at all time. I legitimately like have structural damage to my knee.
Yeah,
and every time he's like yeah, same. I also
some dirt on it.
Yeah. I'm like, you idiots! Please, I can't.
Please believe
we're gonna go to Austin this week, and like someone's gonna pitch the idea of me like riding a bull or something.
Well, you guys are gonna have a great time in Austin because, like I said,
that.
I mean, Texas fans. I mean, they live for these Texas A&M stories. You know what I mean? Especially
they really do.
Like I mean, they would
had a
love to
rough
hear
weekend though, and then Texas A&M won.
Yeah, they lost.
I mean, it was a Texas A&M weekend.
I know. Yeah, my Texas fans were pissed.
Yeah. Should we talk about another Colt, the Donda Academy, or do you want to talk about Emoni first? Let's talk about Emoni first. Maybe.
Okay, let's do it.
Right? That's more relevant, isn't it? Or maybe not. I don't know.
I think Emoni's more relevant. I mean, they're both really ridiculous stories, but I think Emoni starts this one out because we have a pro day, so we have numbers for the first time, and all the top,
Explain to the people what a pro day is, because there might be a lot of listeners that are like, hang on a second, this kid was in high school, reclassified from high school to the college, now is even enrolled in school yet? Yeah, he paid the late fee to enroll.
Got an email.
But he's been in class for 2 weeks, and now he's already having a pro day tape. What's going on here?
Yeah, so all of the Kentuckys of the world, the Kansases of the world, North Carolina was supposed to have one, but then they canceled. Duke has had a pro day. Memphis has had a pro day. So they bring in 30 NBA scouts, personnel, whatever you want to call it. All 30 teams are represented. They run the players through what would be the combine drills, basically, essentially. And then they take all the measurables. The NBA teams watch these players for the first time. It's good PR for the college basketball programs.
Didn't Cal start this? Because I think Cal said his rationale was like, I don't want. Did he start it in 15 when they were the platoon team?
I think
so. Or was it maybe before that?
In my head, the first one I remember was 2015.
Yeah, 2015, where he's like, we have so many NBA players. I don't want every one of our practices to be full of NBA scouts. So we're gonna do one big day, get it out of the way. You get a good look at him here, and then please leave us alone the rest of the season. Was his idea, I think. Yeah,
and then also he was like, give me headlines throughout the entire season so I can have it both ways. And then, like you said, every other program.
Classic Cal, where he's like complaining about something. He's like, I have so many NBA guys. It's a headache trying to.
So they just keep
organize
bothering
all
me.
This.
And also, here's my number if you want to reach out to me about Dakari Johnson, because he's right here and he's 6'10". That's basically what these camps have turned into. But as we know, Penny Hardaway is trying to take the Cal blueprint and then take it to the next level. So this is Memphis's version of it. Rasheed Wallace is the one who's working out all these players. So if you watch the video, it's Emoni Bates, and then it's Rasheed Wallace setting the screen for him, pointing out where he needs it. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing content. Like, if you haven't watched the video, it's amazing. But the real story is the numbers that came out. And the real number that jumped out to me was 24 inches. And that is the vertical of Emoni Bates. And, I'll give you a reference point. Grayson Allen has the vertical of 40 inches. So Grayson Allen jumps 16 inches higher than Emoni Bates.
Insane.
Disgust.
This kid that Emoni Bates, who as of 2 months ago, was the best prospect since LeBron James.
Yes.
When he committed to Michigan State, I had the people we work with here at Fox, multiple bosses of mine, when Emoni Bates committed to Michigan State initially, called, texted, whatever, and said, "We need your immediate reaction to this. This is not
huge.
This is huge. The fact that this kid committed to an actual school and is not going to go to the G League or whatever, this is massive. And you're a college basketball guy. We need your take." And I was like, I don't follow recruit. I have no idea who this kid. No,
Yes.
I knew he existed, but all I knew is the same thing.
No one had really seen him play.
Yeah. I knew what the rest of America knew, that this kid was like the quote unquote next LeBron James, the next LeBron since Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins, Zion Williamson.
I think we've had at least 7. Shabazz Muhammad was
one.
Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes definitely was one.
Yes.
Harold Miner.
Something like that.
Your timeline might be off, but that's okay.
Jordan.
That was the next Jordan timeline.
Yeah.
So we knew that about Emoni Bates, and then he reclassifies, and then you look up the recruiting rankings for the year he's in, and suddenly he's the number 5 recruit in this class. Then he commits to we all know the timeline. We've talked about it on the show a bunch. But this kid who was the next LeBron James, Tate, has the pro day, and as you said, the number that stands out to you is 24-inch vertical. I'm not saying this for a fact. I can jump higher than him.
Yes, no, you can.
Maybe right now with a bum knee.
Yeah.
Like I have a higher vertical than Emoni Bates, which is staggering. It's absolutely staggering.
Hurt right now. I'm down to try it out. I think I can try to get 24.
We have a Titus and Tate pro day where we just do all these things. And that might not actually be the most shocking thing.
No, that's one of many shocking
That's one
things.
of many.
Yes.
His wingspan, he stood 6'9".
This is absurd. I don't believe he's 6'9".
I don't believe he's 6'9" either. 6'9". His wingspan is 6'7.25", which
is impossible.
Is
right?
Yeah,
that's impossible.
Wingspan.
It's
not impossible, but I mean it is shock. It is an aberration.
A negative wingspan is not impossible. I have a slightly negative wingspan. I'm like a half-inch negative. But also I'm me.
No, I mean
I'm not the next LeBron James.
I can't think of any wingspans where I've seen the wingspan less than the height.
Yes, it's very rare,
yes.
and when it is, it's like a half-inch. It's not a full 1.75 inches, as is the case in the case of Emoni Bates. This one stood out to me. Someone pointed this out to me on Twitter, and it blew my mind. His hand width is 8.25 is what the stats say. His hand length is 8.25, and someone asked me, does that mean he just has circle hands? If his width, it is right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
how does that?
These measurables don't make sense. Who measured this?
Are his hands perfect circles? Does he have a if he was to trace his hand, would it be just like could he just make a? Okay, never mind.
But also, when you look at the sheet, what is the number that you want to? What did you want to see? 10.
Yeah.
You want to see,
yes.
like, if you see hand size and it's 10, we're talking like Kawhi Leonard, Michael Jordan, these guys, Dominique Wilkins, you're like, that guy's a star.
Yes.
But when I see 8, I immediately go to what we talked about before. It means scrub.
These numbers are staggering. I'm again not for a fact. If I was to do all of this stuff when I was at Ohio State, I would have at least like 3 or 4 numbers that would pop.
Yes.
Would be better than Emoni Bates.
Again, Grayson Allen, 16 inches higher.
So your initial reaction to this, mine certainly was, oh my God, this kid's a bust. This kid's a scrub. I can't believe Tom Izzo. They've been recruiting him since he was like born and invested all that just to lose him. And if we thought Michigan, remember like what I was talking about, I was like, is Izzo going to be done? Is Izzo going to look at at losing Emoni Bates and be like, the game has passed me by, I'm hanging it up? That's what I thought was going to happen with Emoni Bates. Maybe it's the other thing. Maybe it's the other direction where he's actually not going to sweat it at all. This kid's going to be a bust. This kid sucks. Et cetera, Tate. But we're smarter than that.
Yeah.
There's something to this because it's almost too fishy. The fact that like every single number is bad, there's something going on here. How could he be good at basketball if all of these numbers are horrible? What is your theory?
My theory is that Emoni Bates, one, did not try. So, and that doesn't obviously account for wingspan, and it doesn't account for hand size.
He didn't fully spread his wings.
I'm just telling you, there's no world in which that his max effort is 24 inches. Again, the worst max vertical leap in NBA Combine history, Mike Smith, 21 inches. The next one,
shout out,
Dakari Johnson, who we just talked about, who Cal was trying to get seen at that pro day. I mean, he's 25 inches. So if Dakari Johnson can jump 25 inches, you're telling me Emoni Bates can't jump higher than that? I mean, my goodness, we both know Dakari Johnson. I mean, he was,
not
cinder blocks for feet is what they would say if you were talking to a coach. You know what I mean? So that's insane.
Yeah.
So that to me says maybe there's minimal effort there. We've already discussed he can't go pro this year. So you basically don't try.
Yeah.
You get the worst scores possible. And then when you do the test again next year, your things go up and everyone's like, look how much he's improved.
He's a hard worker.
His vertical is now 40 inches.
Yes.
Oh my God. What a great program. What a great strategy they have in Memphis. Maybe it's a long con. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So, we're on the same page. We're on a similar page. Your thought process is he's sandbagging
Yes.
for himself. So who's doing the sandbagging? Emoni?
I think that Emoni doesn't want to do the combine because he's mad.
Okay.
I'm jumping into his brain right now. He's saying, I'm upset. I can't go pro next year. So why am I even doing this pro combine? And Coach Penny Hardaway is like, you got to do this, Emoni. You got to let them see what's going on, but also don't do too good.
Yeah.
Don't let him let him get the scent. You know what I mean? Don't let him know what's going on. You know, don't let him know that we're going to be a real powerhouse here. Keep him at bay.
Okay.
So I think it's a sandbagging effort on behalf of the Memphis staff.
Okay.
I think it was a collective decision.
I'm with you, except for I think that Emoni wasn't in on it. I think because here's what I think happened. I think the numbers we got are not real.
Yes.
I think Emoni Bates actually perhaps wowed the scouts, we'll say. But the numbers that they put out, I think it's a two-pronged thing. Number one, Rob Hornet is the strength and conditioning coach at Memphis for the basketball team. This is a man who I played high school football with. Remember when I had that revelation on air when I was just Googling the staff, and I was like, I'll be damned. Rob Hornet. I know this guy. I know Rob Hornet. I've broken bread with Rob Hornet.
Yes.
I have his number. I could call him right now, Tate. I know this man. He is an up and comer. So he's trying to make a name for. This is the biggest, best job he's had is Memphis, and now Memphis. It's year one for him. Emoni Bates, Jalen Duran are coming in. I see this as an opportunity for Rob Hornet to do exactly what you said, which is he says the numbers suck. We're going to do another pro day at the end of the season. Emoni Bates is going, his arms are going to get 2.5 inches longer.
Yes.
He's going to jump higher, all of it. And it's all going to be because of Rob Hornet. And Rob is going to, because we know how strength coaches work. Like he's going to say, he put on 25 pounds of muscle and lost 19 pounds of fat.
Yes.
We're going to get that tweet at some point.
Yes.
That Emoni Bates is killing it in the weight room. And it's all thanks to Rob. Like we understand how this game works.
He's 190 right now. He'll be 220 by December.
Right. So that is part one of this is that Rob Hornet is in on it. The other part is, as you said, Penny Hardaway knows that Emoni Bates next year cannot go to the NBA, so he's kind of has to re-recruit him back to Memphis so he doesn't go to the G League. It's not an obvious like he could conceivably get 2 years out of Emoni. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but the best way it could happen
In theory.
is you sandbag him and you sandbag the numbers. So I think Penny and Rob got together, Hardaway and Hornet, boom, put it together. They purposely fudge these numbers because otherwise nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. So I think Penny sandbagged it on purpose, ruined his stock, told Emoni, you're not there yet. You're not going to be there at the end of this year. You have to come back for 2 years. And he's just laying the groundwork. This is the long con, as you said. So we're kind of on a similar track here.
Luke Cincher jumps 3 inches higher than Emoni Bates. You cannot tell me that's true. Like, that cannot be real.
Do you have Tom Coverdale's combine numbers?
I don't, but I'm sure I can find it. I mean, I just cannot imagine him jumping. That's the other part of this is, like, has he never done these tests before? So he has no reference point.
Like Durant was smart enough to know before the combine,
Yeah.
like, I can't bench 185, so I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
Or did he do it? He couldn't do it.
Well, I think he was told not to. Well, he was like, I'm not going to do it. And then he was told he had to do it. Like, you know what I mean? They were like,
Okay, bad
you
example.
have to try. You have to try.
Okay, bad example. What's
I think
another
you
example?
wiped that story, or Nike wiped that like video from the internet. I can't find it.
Dude,
I
that
think there's
should
a video
be-
of him actually trying to do it.
He should be in an alternate universe. Kevin Durant understands his responsibility as a not strong person,
Yeah.
and like he becomes like the face of not the
He's the face of skill.
He's like the anti-Russillo part. Like the Russillo is becoming like the face of like lifting weights, you know. And Durant's like, you don't need weightlifting. Like that becomes like his PR move. He's like,
Yeah.
don't weightlifting.
He's a cardio
bullshit.
guy.
Yeah, cardio is more important.
Yeah.
It's just cardio versus.
No, it's skill versus force. You know what I mean? LeBron guys are Russillo guys. They're like, it's all about strength.
Yeah,
This is how we
yeah,
do things.
yeah.
Like, we just pound people out of the way. And Durant's like, no, we finesse them, and we just
But he
hit 'em
kind of
with a little bit of quickness.
He should have been more proud of it. Like he should now be proud. He should be like, yeah, I couldn't bench 185.
No, I mean, he doesn't like it because
cares?
that's why he didn't like Slim Reaper. He was like, it wasn't the Reaper part, it was the Slim part.
Yeah, why wouldn't you like that?
I mean, I don't know, because you got Baby and Slim. You got a whole. I mean, Slim's a nice name. Everyone likes Slim.
Same thing with Jordan, by the way. Like Jordan could have. You know what Jordan could have done for bald men in this country? Like he could have made bald like the coolest thing ever, and he didn't. He just simply,
No, I mean, I aspire one day to tell the story of how he lost his hair. It was because of a company that he was doing a brand deal with, and it was like a shampooing company and stuff, and that they were, yeah, that's how he lost his hair. Seriously, it was a brand deal. I want to tell the story, like in like an actual,
like a 30 for 30,
like a documentary. Because you're right, it should be that way.
Start with the opening scene of Space Jam, where it's a young Michael Jordan
he's
shooting
playing
around
with
with
his
the
dad in the back. He's like, one more shot, Dad.
Except the young Michael Jordan has this massive fro.
He has a Dr. J fro. He wants to be Dr. J. I mean, that could be it. But I mean, seriously, you're right. That was the movement, and maybe one day. I think Larry David is the face of bald America.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, it was like George Costanza, who was Larry David.
Yeah.
It was this exact same character, and then now Larry David is the actual Larry David. So.
Yeah, I think we've all thrown Costanza away because we know Larry now. You know, it's like, oh, we got to the source.
And then as you got to know Larry better, you're like, yeah, this is the real.
Checks
George
out.
Costanza.
And then when you watch Seinfeld, it's like even better, you know, because everything is just, you got to think Larry David is with.
Do you? If you watch Seinfeld now, do you picture George as Larry?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of hard not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
All right, so that's Emoni Bates. We're gonna monitor the situation. We know there's more to the story. That's the point.
It's fixed.
The mystery continues. We're gonna have to monitor this.
Did Duren have great numbers, by the way? I didn't even see Jalen Duren's numbers.
Dude, maybe that's part of the conspiracy.
Yeah.
You put out these bad numbers from Emoni Bates. No one's. Dude, so now Jalen Duren, like maybe. There's something to this, dude. This goes all the way to the top.
Yeah.
This stinks to high hell.
Yeah.
It really does. We got to get to the bottom.
I think Emoni Bates' team probably hated it too, you know, like the brand team that he has behind the scenes.
Because you're not putting that out, dude. Like, if you're Memphis and you measure that, you're just simply like if you're, because as you said, like we had to have known these numbers before the pro day.
Yes.
So when
when
the pro day comes, we just cancel the pro. We're like, Emoni has diarrhea. He can't do it.
Yeah, he's not doing a pro day.
And they're like, well, why can't we? Like, diarrhea keeps us from measuring his wingspan. And you're like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Don't ask us how.
You can't stretch.
You can't stretch. You're like, all right, you know, and you cancel it. Or if you do the pro, like you I don't know. There's a way to get out of it, Tate.
There's a way to get out of it.
The fact that you got these numbers and you put them out.
But what happens when he measures at the NBA Combine and has size 10 hands and, you know, has a 40-inch vertical? That's going to be the craziest thing ever. Here's
the other question I have for you. If we're taking this at face value, are you concerned about his actual game? Because, like, maybe it is a Durant situation. Maybe it's a Tyler Hero. Remember Tyler Hero, Kentucky's pro day? His body fat was what, like 28%? I don't remember.
I think it was literally like 13 or 15. It was something that you and I were like, wow. That's...
He got his body fat measured at Kentucky's pro day that year, and it just said Zion.
Yeah. That's what it said. Exactly. Above 15, Zion.
It just said Zion. And then I remember we laughed about it. We're like, this kid is not going to be good. And then, funny enough, they play Zion in the first game at the Champions Classic, and Kentucky's running their entire offense through Tyler Hero. They get absolutely destroyed, and I was like, this guy is an absolute bust. This isn't going to work. And then is he good now in the NBA?
He says he's good.
Like, he had the good year last year.
I think he's one. I think he's like the third best odds to win Most Improved or something like that.
Was he good in 21?
No.
He wasn't, like, he had the breakout in 20,
he was good
in the bubble, yeah.
And that was a year ago, which is crazy. So it was basically a year ago he was really good. So
yeah, we'll get it back.
Benefit of the doubt.
Well, maybe it's that, you know, maybe Emoni Bates, like,
if these are really his measurables, he's not going to be good.
I agree with that. Like, if he's not going to be an NBA All-Star.
No.
Like yeah. If that's
no
really,
chance.
Zero chance.
Literally no chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. But he might be good at college. He might, I don't know.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so shocking to people, because you assume when someone's the next LeBron, they have some sort of freakish trait that's going to.
The next LeBron part of this is dead on arrival. That's what it is. Is like like you see this and you're right. If these are actually his measurables, he has zero shot of being anywhere close to the next LeBron or even the next Andrew Wiggins.
Can he palm a basketball?
Yeah,
I don't think so. Not with those hands.
What if I told? Can he be the next Andrew Wiggins with these measurables?
If he's lucky,
I think that's like best case scenario.
I was like, if he's actually 6'9", I don't think he's 6'9".
I don't think these numbers are real though. So
they can't be real.
I got his vertical jump number.
Jalen Duren's.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
30.5, and that was Emoni's.
Who did the measure? I think
Emoni's was 24.5.
I remember one time Carolina football, like during the summertime. This is like 2007, 2008. they had a guy run the clock on the 40 times.
Yeah.
And like Robert Quinn
Wait.
ran like a 4.2. And like, you know what I mean? Like these guys, like Bruce Carter ran like a 4.3, and they were like reporting it. They're like, this guy's running a 4.3, like 4.4. And I was like, there's just no way that can be right. And then when they actually went to the NFL Combine, like I think Rob ran like a 4.6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got clocked like a 4.2
That's
at
like when
Carolina.
in high school when your friend is like,
Dude, that literally, that was me.
Like, wait a second
We had-
to off the inbound and things
We
like
had,
that. Start the clock.
That's what this feels like. This is not this can't be right. He can't have a 30-inch vertical.
I mean, maybe he does, dude. Like, I don't know. That sounds right to me. He could jump.
His approach vertical
No,
is 37.
His
Amani's was 31.
I've watched highlights of him. I mean, he can jump. I feel like he can jump. That's all I'm saying. I feel like
Oh, you think it should be higher?
I think he should be higher.
No, 30 30's the
30's
dead.
fine.
30's the dead stop, right?
Tim
30
Tebow's is 38 and a half.
No, that's the approach. Tim Tebow's not from a dead stop. That one's the dead stop. Like you can't take a
that's
step.
the dead stop.
You just squat down and jump straight up, and that's 30 and a half. Which 24 is still really, really bad for
Yeah.
that. It's horrible for that. But 30 and a half for a big man, that's not bad. That's good. That's good. That's a good number.
I think I'm just Kentucky blinded. You know what I mean? And Kentucky fudges the
point,
numbers.
This is the point. Is all the numbers are fudged.
Yeah,
that's what we know. The numbers are fudged. We
Maybe
just got to
Memphis
figure
is
out how.
just like trying to be honest out here. They're
Yeah.
like, this is what we
Books are
got.
cooked.
Dude, you just reminded me of when I was playing high school football and we would get Joey X was his name. Joey, he's the Brown. He's a local legend.
Joey X.
Joey X.
Sounds like a
He
bookie.
he
Joey X.
he was like a volunteer assistant football coach. And just imagine the kind of creature this guy was. He was the hype man / volunteer coach, and every time we would do like testing, everyone would like fight over. Like we would do testing as a team like all one day.
Yeah.
And they're like eight different coaches are doing the testing, and everyone, it was always like a huge fight over who got to be in Joey X's lane because you knew you were gonna run like a 4.140.
Yeah, you're like,
That's amazing.
I'm trying to get signed. I'm trying to get a D1 offer.
I
Gotta
remember-
get in his lane.
I remember in JV, my coach like telling the kid who was like keeping the book of like stats and fouls
Yeah.
and stuff. He's like, put that foul on somebody else. Like,
Yeah, throw that, yeah.
instead
I mean,
of, like our
that-
star player.
it's literally the definition of cooking the books. You know what I mean?
Joe-
But it's like-
Exactly.
Joey X wasn't even doing it on purpose. He was just like incompetent. Like he couldn't hit he couldn't hit the
That's what I
buttons.
mean. Like, there's always that guy where you're just like, and if Rasheed Wallace is doing the measuring and running the drills, you know, he probably doesn't care. He's like, yeah, 30 and a half.
Oh man. All right, let's get to the real story of probably what this show should have been about, which is Kanye West is subverting to the college basketball landscape. Just absolutely, is he the number one recruiter in college basketball? Is the
Yes.
question. So here's what I know. I'm going to say what I know because it's very little, and then I'm going to let you take it from there, Tate, because I feel like you probably know more than I do. Kanye West has this thing called the Donda Academy.
Yes, named after his mother, his late mother. Yes,
That was her first name, Donda?
Donda.
Okay, I didn't even know that much, so at least that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you
Name
that.
of
Like,
his
why is it
album,
called-
Donda.
Oh, okay.
Name of his like branding arm, Donda.
Okay, all right. It's starting to come together for me, at least that part of it. Donda Academy. It is in where are they calling it? Calabasas? Is it? Do we have a location? Just Southern
There is
California?
no location
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
It doesn't exist.
It does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last 2 weeks, 4 different 4/5-star basketball players have basically up and left their hometowns
Yes.
and like joined Kanye and
The
definitely
prep school is in Simi Valley, which I
Simi
mean,
Va-
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
It's set
Yeah.
to be in Simi Valley, though.
set to be. Yes.
that's the plan. Is
Yes.
It's going to be in Simi Valley. And these kids have joined Kanye in what is definitely not a cult and what is definitely not concerning at all. And that's all I know is that like 4 and 5 stars are just basically saying like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go to the G League. I'm going to go. Or are they going to go to the G League? How does is Don? What is Don? What is going on? Explain this to me.
Donda is apparently going to be a prep school, which is so. I think to peel this all the way back, you and I have talked about Amari Bailey
Yes.
and talked about
That's
Sierra
Drake's.
Yes.
That's the guy whose
Yes.
mom went on a date
Yes,
with Drake. Are
exactly.
they still dating?
No, but
No.
we assume that they're still in contact. But Sierra
Love is dead.
Canyon is a prep school with, Bronny, had Zaire Wade, had Zaire Williams, had KJ Martin, Kenyon Martin. So, I mean, there's a ton of
Yeah.
Sierra Canyon kids that have come out and gone to the NBA. But that's where Drake is locked in. Drake and Kanye have a beef going on, And I think that this somehow has spiraled into Kanye saying, I'm going to start my own basketball academy where I'm going to have the top players come and play. Because, Drake's all in basketball. He's got, like, his Mitchell and Ness,
Right.
He's got the OVO stuff, all that. So I think this is Kanye's way to get into that world, into that basketball world. And he apparently has 5-star 2023 point guard Robert Dillingham, 4-star 2022 guard Zion Cruz, 4-star forward Jalen Hooks, and 2024 forward Ja'Kai Howard. So these are the players that have already agreed to come play at Donda Academy. And the only one that I care about is Robert Dillingham, because Robert Dillingham goes to Combine Academy in North Carolina and plays for Jeff McGinnis, who was the former point guard at North Carolina. And, I love Jeff McGinnis. He's a great coach. And he has said, I read an article from March of this year. He has said that Robert Dillingham was going to be his version, he said, of Allen Iverson, right? Like the new age version of Allen Iverson, a guy that can just get you a bucket. Most people assumed that Carolina was going to be a school that he would be going to, and you and I both know this. If Donda Academy is involved, he's not going to North Carolina. So he has apparently dropped out of school via DM. He got a DM from Kanye that was like, yes or no, decide now. He says yes. He has left his prep school in North Carolina and is in Los Angeles at a school that does not exist. So there's a chance that he could lose eligibility because he obviously is not in school now, because he dropped out of school to then go to a school that does not exist. And all this is happening, as I just said, via DM. So Kanye West right now has his hands on like 5 kids that he might ruin their potential to play college basketball, because they are not going to be enrolled in school until the school starts, and then maybe they get back. But
it's a check DM situation.
It's a check. This is a DM situation.
What the hell?
Yeah, DM situation.
So
and you have to commit. Allegedly, you have to commit on the spot via DM.
So who is Donda Academy competing against?
Sierra Canyon.
Who's their coach?
But Lamar Odom.
Kanye?
I think it's Lamar Odom.
So these kids could, like, obviously they're not going to be eligible, but theoretically the idea is like they can go to Donda Academy and then go to college.
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't a college alternative.
No.
This is a high school alternative.
This is a high school. This is to compete with Sierra Canyon, which all goes back to Drake.
Is Kanye cool? Like, he must be if these kids are like. I was shocked by that. Like, to me, Kanye was my generation of
cool.
Like that was when he was cool, and now it's like
graduation dropped in 2007. I was a freshman in high school. You know what I mean? So like I told Jim earlier, I was like, if let's say I had Instagram in 2008, and Kanye West came into my DMs and said, "Hey, I'm starting prep school. I need you to come here and get good grades and like fucking set the tone in this." Yeah, I would leave my family. You know what I mean? I would up and tell my parents, Kanye West has called upon me. But I apologize. I have to go.
But Kanye was cool in 2007.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But so like now, in my mind, Kanye now to these kids is like, I don't know, like Ice Cube would have been to us.
Yeah.
We're like, dude, I respect what you did, but like you're kind of not like if Ice Cube in 2008 is DMing you and like, hey man, I'm starting an academy, I'd be like, what? Dude, what? How old are you?
Yeah.
What? Why would I do that? But it seems like Kanye's cool still, and I'm out
like
of the
a teenager. You know,
is that what it is?
I think he acts, like he's very emotional. I think he somehow has cachet with these kids, but also it's like if Mick Jagger reached out to you, you know what I mean?
That's true.
You're like, I know Mick Jagger's cool. I didn't necessarily have the Stones, that wasn't my era, but I have a respect and a reverence for it. So I think, and not only that, he's promising buku cash, and you and I are bad guys, and like you come in, not only are you Kanye with the cachet, but then you say I got buku bags on the other side of that. Yes, mom and dad, I see you later.
Buku bags.
I mean, what's the one thing stopping a 16-year-old? The financial security of mom and dad. Kanye West has now said, I will be that financial security for you.
Oh my god,
come to LA, especially from nowhere, North Carolina. Like,
dude,
you know what I mean?
The one kid you said, Jalen Hooks, is from Indy. He plays at Crispus Attucks, or he doesn't anymore. I guess he dropped out. He played at Oscar Robertson High School, which like didn't even exist when I was in high school. Oscar Robertson's high school got whatever happened to your high school. They like shut it down.
Yeah.
then basically Crispus Attucks was the first all-black school to win a state title. Oscar led them to state title in Indiana, and like the history behind that school was like people were like, "This is sick, dude! Like, how does Oscar Robertson not have a high school to go back to?" So they like resurrected the high school, and I think they've been good. I think they've like won a state championship recently. They're a smaller
the name
school.
sounds familiar. I can't remember if there was like a player that went there recently. Crispus Attucks was who? Jim, look up who Crispus Attucks was. I think he was the guy. He was the black dude at the Boston massacre that was shot. Yeah, I think maybe that's why. I think
that's why they named the school after. Anyway,
first person killed in the Boston massacre.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So
first American killed in the American Revolution.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like, why do I know
Boston.
that name?
Yeah, okay.
History, my God.
It's that high school. That's where the kid plays at, and they've won state. I think they've won a state championship recently, maybe more. I don't know. That's Coach Titus. He keeps up with that stuff more than I do these days. But yeah, he played there, and now he's turning his back on to go to Kanye West.
It confirms our bias because you and I have always talked about that North Carolina and Indiana are the best basketball states as far as grassroots basketball. Kanye starts an academy, goes straight to Indiana, straight to North Carolina.
There we go.
That's good news for us. But this honestly could end, as much as we're kind of. I mean, it could end terribly.
It's going to end terribly for these kids. Yeah, like if they end up in the NBA and NBA All Stars and all that kind of stuff, it's in spite of this, not because of this. I don't think there's any two ways about it. The school doesn't even exist, dude.
Yeah.
There's no one with 3 brain cells that would be like, this is a great idea. These kids should definitely do this.
Why? But then they go to G League, and they'll be good.
Well, I think that's the pitch. Also, Kyle Filipowski or whatever, the Duke commit, 2022 Duke commit. He changed. Apparently, all the Donda kids, they changed their avatar to just like black, like what Kanye's is, and he changed his to like the black avatar.
Who's that?
So Duke commit.
Kyle Crichton.
2022
Dude,
Duke commit.
What was the show? What I'm thinking of the reference for the show where like everyone got like just the eyes went fully black, and then you like see someone and then they turn their like,
Crossroads by the Bone Thugs and Harmony.
It's the Crossroads music video.
He touches his head. Yeah.
Is it the Crossroads music
my
video?
Uncle Charles, y'all.
Yeah.
What was I Am Legend? How did they become zombies? They just like slowly, it just kind of.
You're just bit.
But like, was there a transformation where it's like, oh, you have the mark or you have the? I don't remember.
I mean, Zombieland. It was like
I thought one of them had black eyes. I thought someone was like.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking to you and suddenly you turn and cough and you turn back, you have black eyes, and I'm like
maybe like 28 days
and
later.
I gotta like run. I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tate, would
bad,
you,
bad
I
reference. Bad reference.
I think Prometheus was the black eyes.
Bad reference. Okay.
Tate, if Kanye told you can't talk to your family till Thanksgiving, would you go?
What do you mean till Thanksgiving? Like what Thanksgiving, Kanye? I mean,
like if he hits you up in the summer and he's like, come play basketball for me in September. Come to my school.
Grade me?
Yeah.
There's
Christmas?
like there's not even a question.
Christmas?
There's not even a question.
What about all 4 years?
It's not even a question. It's not even
Your parents
a
are
question.
listening to this.
I love
grateful.
my parents. They know that Tate in 10th
But you love
grade was an
Kanye
idiot.
more.
They're like 10th grade
But
Tate's an idiot.
you love
You would have
Kanye more.
definitely agreed to that. 16-year-old anybody.
What
is
about
an
right
idiot.
now? What about right now? If Kanye's like, come coach my team, all 5 stars.
I would do
Coach
that.
the
I would
team,
do
yeah.
that.
You both would leave me
Dude,
here
imagine
right now.
imagine the content.
Oh my God.
I mean, you'd still do the show, right? We'd still.
Yeah, we would.
They need
I
a
would do the
coach.
show live
They
in
need
the
a
game.
staff. Let's do it.
And our offense would basically be like, Robert, if you don't have the shot, shoot it anyway. Like you shoot.
So
Should this be a Donda podcast?
we could, yeah,
Donda Academy?
college
should we change our
basketball.
avatars to just a black square?
exclusive Donda.
College basketball's
one.
dead, as we know.
Yeah.
The future is
R.I.P.
Donda.
It's prep school basketball.
As if we discover prep school.
we only go to Sierra Canyon and Bishop Sycamore games and Donda games.
What is
And-
Overtime Elite, by the way? Are we any closer to figuring that out? Is
Well,
that a prep
they
school
would
or G
play
League?
Donda Academy.
They would play Donda.
That's apparently
What? They're high school overtime elite?
I
Yeah,
thought
they
they
play-
were. I
they-
thought they were like G League.
They're in between, but like they're high school. Yeah, I don't know. It makes no sense.
flex.
Nobody knows. They don't know.
Who cares?
Who cares?
NIL, pay these kids.
Because they're
Coach K knows.
They're going after 16-year-olds, and 16-year-olds are rash. You know what I mean? You make dumb decisions. Like you're in 10th grade.
So what we know about Donda Academy, what Jim and I just told you about Texas A&M, which is the bigger cult, Donda Academy or Texas A&M?
Who would win?
Who would win in a basketball game?
I mean, Kanye. They do have Sunday service. I mean, there's like there's a dress code to that, which also, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it does.
I feel like Kanye is more of a cult. Kanye's getting you.
Kanye's clothes, like those outfits he puts out.
But
like
Kanye's
like
paying you to be there, whereas Texas A&M you pay to be there,
Yeah,
which is kind of a mark of a cult as well.
Yeah.
Kanye has a very obvious guy who's at the top of bag one, which is him.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, it might be the
dog.
dog. It might be like a oil baron.
Think about how many people though
That
have
we don't
been
know.
close to Kanye over the years, you know, that are now no longer close. You know what I mean? Like
Mike Conley is one of them.
That's what I'm saying. You can immediately go from in to out in a second.
Dude.
So like it's a very tough spot to be in.
That he chewed Mike up and spit him out. I watched it with my not really. I don't know what happened, but like I last time I saw Mike, I was like, whatever happened with you and Kanye? Because I've told you that story. I've said that story on.
He was
gonna
wear
before.
Yeezys.
Yeah.
Play basketball in Yeezys.
Like Mike randomly gets a DM or a text or whatever, and it was just from Kanye.
Tell
It's
me
like,
right now.
I want to
wear
hang.
Yeezys.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to hang, and Mike's like,
Yeah.
all right, what the hell? And he came out to L.A. and like hung with Kanye, and he was telling all this at Greg's wedding. He was just like, dude, the weirdest shit is happening to me. Like Kanye wants to be friends, and I don't know what the. We're all like, what the hell? What's going on? You know.
Yeah.
He goes to his house, like Kanye's like making a song, and Mike's in the studio, and Brian. I don't know if you met my buddy Brian, the big dumb meathead. He was with him, and Mike's got his guys that like I know all. I don't know. And they're all just like telling me the story, and I'm like, this is insane. You guys go to dinner with Kanye, you go watch him like record it.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, yeah, I think like I don't know what he wants from me. Yeah, I guess he likes my fashion or something. I don't know. He said
He wanted basketball knowledge.
right. So the last time I saw Mike, I was like, what's the deal with Kanye? Like whatever happened with all that? And he's like, I don't know, man. You just kind of stopped talking to me.
Yeah.
Right as he was about to tell you, you got thrown out of the suite.
Yeah, that's what it was. What if they were clearing? What if that's why we got thrown out of the suite? Is they thought Kanye was coming and it was us instead.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how this ends.
Anyway.
I don't know how this
Yeah.
ends. I really don't. I when I think about Kanye and like basketball, him being at UCLA, because there's a chance that Drake is at UCLA all next year with Amari Bailey.
I want to get.
Kanye's doing his prep school. All these kids are going to go to UCLA, I assume, or at least they think they're going to go to UCLA.
And you know what's hilarious about that is that Mick Cronin is in the heart of all of this.
Yeah, he's in the
like,
middle of all
Mick
of
Cronin went from
He
like
literally is. A guy who
He's gonna
never
be
has
on
gone
both
to a
albums.
concert.
He's gonna be
He didn't even
featured
know who
in
Kanye
songs.
is.
He's gonna be like the hype man.
we're gonna hear a
In the
Mick
songs.
Cronin
Yeah.
voicemail is gonna be.
He's
on
gonna
one of
drop an album himself. Mick Cronin.
Mick Cronin's voicemail is one of the intros.
Kanye
to a
is
song.
definitely going to make a line that calls someone a goofy and then says something about Mick and Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like being the head honcho. And we're going to be like, is that a Mick Cronin reference?
Mick Cronin went from like trying to beat Chris Mack in
Yeah,
the one game a year that matters to Cincinnati fans,
Yeah.
and coaching in the American against Tulane and East Carolina.
To literally,
Yeah.
he
To
might be
now
wearing like
Whiskey
Balenciaga
Hollywood.
shoes by next season.
he's in LA, sponsored by Jordan, recruiting Drake's son-in-law.
Yeah, literally. 100%.
And guys from Kanye's Academy.
And our first 5-star commit. It's only 5 stars.
God damn. Let's wrap this up. Let's get out of here.
I got one shout out, and it's to J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is playing golf for North Carolina A&T. Had his first match, played at Alamance Country Club, where I used to play in high school. Shot
How'd
an
he do?
81.
81.
81.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's what I said.
That's probably not good enough to like come close to winning, but
No, but I mean, you're like the 4 or 5 seed. You
pretty
shoot
good.
81.
Yeah.
That's what you want to be. You want to be like 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of pressure. And then sometimes you shoot like 73, 74, you know,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range. And people are like, man, that's what's
Yeah.
up, you know? We needed that.
dude, that's
Because you only keep 4 scores, you know? It's not hard.
4 scores.
6 guys, 4 scores. So like you gotta, like if you're the 4, 5, 6, you know, you're basically playing for 1 score.
Yeah.
And then like if you screw up and you're the 4 seed, you're like, I thought y'all had my bag. And if you're the 6 seed and the 4 and 5 screw up, you're like, that was y'all's job.
I didn't know you only played 4.
You only keep 4 scores. At least that's how it works. It used to work. I don't know how it works.
Just hearing you
now.
say 4 scores makes me think of Norm's bit about Abraham Lincoln writing that.
Yeah.
4 score 7 years
Yeah,
ago.
where he's like, he really thought that was going to catch on, and it never did.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah, he thought everyone was going to be saying that.
Everyone's going to be saying score.
Yeah.
No one else
Yeah.
has ever said it.
Didn't hold on.
That's a good shout out. Good shout out. I
JR.
think most people assume that when he got on the team, it was just like a publicity deal, or like he wasn't actually that good.
No, he's in North
That's great.
Carolina.
That's awesome.
He's in school.
That's
he's
awesome.
playing golf.
Good.
He looks like normal college golfer.
That's
He's
awesome.
going to be on the tour.
Dude, he's gonna. He do you think?
Tiger Backwoods.
That's a good one.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's a good one. I like that one. Do you think if you were golf, like these other kids got to be intimidated, right?
Absolutely.
Like if you step up to the first tee and it's J.R. Smith you're paired with.
And he unties your shoe as you're about to.
When I was in high school, the kid, so I was the 1 seed, but at my high school, so like it didn't matter. But the 1 seed at Burlington Williams, which is where they're playing, he was going to play golf in Carolina. He'd already committed in 9th grade. So my job in my matches was to hype him up. You know what I mean? Because I wanted North Carolina to be great. I wanted him to be the next Davis Love III. So I'm like, his name was Robert Register. I'm like, that's cash money. Like he's making putts. I'm like fist pounding. People watching like, why do you
Robert
care?
Register?
Yeah.
Oh, cash money. Yeah,
that's what I mean. It should have been.
You could
star. Register goes to Ching.
So you could. Are there fans at these matches?
No, but I was saying I was hyping him up because it was like he was a North Carolina commit. I knew I wasn't going to play college golf. But I feel like there's got to be kids in groups with J.R. Smith. They're like pulling for him.
That's sick.
In fact, I saw one of his chips and it's like a pretty good shot. And there's like 3 guys in the group like, hey, great shot. Hey, J.R., great shot. Great shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
I would, if I was JR, I would use like the Coach K move of like using my Rolodex to my benefit.
Of course.
I would like tell the kids like, if you let me win, I'll bring you to a party with LeBron or something. Yeah. And they would believe it, and then they and then
I'd be on the 9th hole and like Andre Iguodala just texted me.
Yeah.
They're like, damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
I can't beat this guy. He's talking to Iguodala.
No, they're rattled. That's a good shout out. I want to shout out Mike Conley. Speaking of the Devil, it's his birthday today. He's 34 years old. So there you go. Happy birthday, Mike. Hope you enjoy the Ohio State football suites. I hope
sure. Have a great time.
Have a great time. Is it surprising that he went back to Utah to you? We never really talked about that, did he?
I mean,
because we thought he was going to the Lakers.
He was going to the Lakers until Russ decided he was going to the Lakers. That's what it was. And that has been. Have you seen any of this? No. It's a disaster. I love it.
Like a good disaster?
No,
or like a
terrible. It's exactly what you thought it would be, or what we thought.
But so bad, it's good.
I think Russ has had 25 turnovers in 2 games. I'm not even kidding.
Who's the Donda Academy of the NBA? Is it the Lakers or the Nets?
Ooh. I think it's the Lakers.
Kyrie, what's the latest with Kyrie? Like he can practice, but he can't play at home games now?
Kyrie, confirmed by Steve Nash, will miss all of the home games.
So the Nets, if you're the Nets,
and
you're
a
now
lot of away games because other cities too.
But if you're the Nets, you're now incentivized to get the 8 seed in the playoffs, so you don't have home court advantage, because road games will actually be an advantage for you because you'll have Kyrie Irving available. So the Nets are going to sandbag to get. That's my prediction. The Nets are going to sandbag. I would
bet you that Kyrie Irving is either vaccinated or off the Nets by December.
All right.
Isn't he vaccinated now? Didn't you already say that?
That's my theory. My theory is the night before the first game, he's like, I was always vaccinated. I just wanted to get you guys thinking. And that's what he's going to say. Yeah. And then he's
just start a conversation.
Yeah, just trying to start a conversation.
Steve Nash's face as he was answering the question. I was like, this poor guy. I mean, like, what can you say? You're just like, yeah, the guy's going to miss half of our games. I don't know.
He's going to be there opening night. That's
Didn't
my
he miss
theory.
half their games last year anyway?
That's what a lot of people were saying in the comments. Whatever. They're just like, yeah, we're used to this.
Dude, I think they're gonna purposely try to not get home court advantage so they can have Kyrie.
Think about this: if the Lakers if the NBA, how they want things to work out, happens, if it's Lakers versus the Nets, Kyrie Irving cannot play in the series.
Yeah,
he cannot play in LA or New York.
That's true.
So he literally.
What if he gets like vaccinated? He'll just get vaccinated before that. No, he won't. I don't know.
But think about that. The NBA Finals, literally one of the 3 best players in the Nets won't be able to play.
Oh my God.
Or does he get the players to strike if they don't play somewhere else?
I think Kevin's out. I think Kevin's.
Out on Kyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think James Harden has been out because James Harden, like we talked about, James Harden was the Kyrie insurance.
Yeah,
you know, like you already have
playing the same position. Anyway.
Exactly, they already have each other.
Yeah,
and Kyrie actually can get you a piece that helps that team, which is a big man. In theory,
but nobody wants to deal with that.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Ben Simmons for Kyrie is like the trade that does make the most sense for all parties.
Could he play in Philly?
I think Kyrie actually could play in Philly because they would actually get behind him. They would be.
No, I mean, we mean like the vaccine part.
Oh, he can play in Philly.
Yeah.
He can play
That's nice.
He can play in Philly. Joel Embiid and Kyrie is hilarious. Like you talk about like trolling the media.
This is the
podcast.
You know, like the college basketball football coaching search move where you're plane tracking, you're tracking the planes to figure out like, is Brad Stevens going to IU?
Yeah.
If there's a plane coming from Boston, whatever. That is now like searching up local vaccine mandates of like where Kyrie can go.
Where can Kyrie play?
They're like, Texas is on the board. He can go and play anywhere
do
in
you
Texas.
think his agents are like all over this? They're like, no.
They got like they got a map with like push pins in each place, like with all the mandates of each place of like.
Did
where
Wiggins get the shot?
Yeah.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah.
Begrudging.
Because he's not good enough to get away with that. And Kyrie thinks he's good enough to, hold this.
Kyrie might be good enough to get away with it until he's not, until December.
Any other shout outs? Is that it?
Shout out to Ben Simmons quickly. Ben Simmons is going to report to Philly.
I thought you were shouting out Ben Simmons. I saw Bill posted the video of his son with the sweet flag football catch.
Oh, he scored a touchdown?
Yeah. He had a flag football.
Oh, nice.
I thought you were shouting
Dion into the end
zone. Ben Simmons is going to Philly?
Yeah, he asked to report.
He's going to report.
Sources have confirmed he's going to report. How hilarious is that going to be? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't even. The problem with the NBA is that you don't even care about the basketball, right? Like, and I love basketball because these guys, it's just the drama.
What do you think he says when he goes in there? He's like, "Sorry, mate."
What?
Everyone's like,
he's Australian. Is he Australian? I was just so stunned by your attempt at an Australian accent.
Mate.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hilarious. We might get a fight.
I want to shout out real quickly Jim Boeheim, who told Jeff Goodman recently that he's like kind of never retiring. He said it's not even on his radar. So I'm starting to do the math of can Jim Boeheim catch Coach K? The answer is probably not, but Jim Boeheim's gonna die trying. Right? Like he's not. That's the move for Boeheim. It's just like
get wins or die trying is literally a great philosophy.
Do you think?
It's what I thought Coach K would do.
Off-court stuff aside, just wins and losses. Do you think there is a scenario where Jim Boeheim could ever be fired from Syracuse for not winning enough games?
Scandal.
It's got to be scandal, right?
It's only
like if Syracuse wins 5 games a year for like the next 5
Doesn't
years,
matter.
he's not getting fired.
Getting a statue.
Yeah.
The only thing that it's only scandal.
So he can just ride this out as long as.
In fact, he's already survived one scandal.
He's already survived one, but yeah. I don't know.
They took his wins away, though. That was the other thing. If he had those wins that they
I
took
thought you were
away,
talking about the.
Oh well, I was multiple scandals. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the car accident wasn't his fault, Like so.
No, I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about that.
God, how many are there?
Well, no, I mean, like I don't know. Never mind.
It's safe to say he'll be fine. He can coach as long as he wants there.
Yeah.
It seems.
All right.
Can he pass Coach K?
I don't know, but he's gonna try. That's what's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I thought this might be his last year because his sons are all there. And
what do we know about Coach K? Still not official yet.
Is Coach K? Coach K is gonna come out of retirement, isn't he?
Logan Roy is going to continue.
Jay Leno.
I mean, yeah.
He is. Coach K.
Yeah, Logan Roy.
What if Coach K went to Army?
Coming back
Think about
from
that.
Dude,
goes to Army.
Coach K's watching Jim Boeheim catch him, and he comes out of retirement.
Yeah, at 80.
Or he goes to Texas A&M, which is like Army.
They changed the PK 80 to the Coach K 80.
He goes to Donda.
He goes to Donda Academy.
Wow.
All right, let's get out of here. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Shout out to your Los Angeles Chargers as well.
And Texas A&M.
You guys screwed my beloved Cleveland Browns out of a pass interference call. Was bullshit, and you know it. But anyway,
I was pretty impressed with the Browns, by the way. Yeah. I left that game thinking to myself that the Browns are going to be in contention, right? They have a real chance to win the AFC. Yeah. They have a run game. It's hard to stop the run.
All right. We hear you. All right, that's the show. We will see you guys Friday. We're going to Austin. Any thoughts for Austin, Jim? Any preemptive things you want to say about Austin? Any?
Can't wait.
Tell your Aggie stories.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah. We're
shout outs to the Aggies though.
Yeah, shout out to the Aggies. Shout out to everyone in the College Station.
We touched a bunch of crap today.
We did.
We really did.
Your campus is ugly as hell. It looks like a Russian prison. Your people it was very cult-like, but I honest to God,
we love you.
Had the time of my life, and that was the best football game I've ever been to, and the best atmosphere I've ever seen, and it was awesome. And so,
thank you.
If the ends justify the means, Tate, if that's what it takes to deliver that experience I had, then keep on keeping on. Yeah. And I'll be back someday, and we'll do it all over again.
Yeah, so, if you go back, it's tradition.
I know. Then I'm really stuck. If I really do go back, like there's a problem.
You're never leaving.
I'm never leaving. Yeah, that's fun. All right, that's it. See you guys.